Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to do this really easy, beginner-friendly Easter egg. And so what you're going to need for this, I'm using a 4.25 millimeter hook. I'm using, this is 4-weight yarn, but it's a lighter weight yarn because it's variegated, so keep that in mind. But you know, the bigger hook you use, the bigger yarn you use, the bigger egg you're going to have. You can really use any hook size or yarn size with this that you wish. You're also going to need a darning needle, or some people might call it a crochet needle. Looks like this. You're going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need some kind of stuffing. I'm just going to use some polyfill for my eggs. But if you don't have that, you can use old stuffed inside of stuffed animals, old pillows. You can use yarn, anything you've got on hand you can use to stuff these with, okay? So what we're going to do is, because this is beginner, there's not going to be any working in the round. There's not going to be any stitch markers needed or anything like that. I wanted to make it really, really easy. So you're going to do 2 sides and then sew them together, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So, and you can use all 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors. You can do this as much as you want to make it as colorful as you want to. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. So I'm going to take my blue yarn here and I'm going to make a magic circle. If you're not familiar with a magic circle, you can find my beginner video for beginner crocheters. I'll have that in the description box below and you can learn there. But we're going to do a magic circle, and then we're going to put 9 single crochets into the middle of our magic circle. So I'm going to get it as small as I possibly can so it's easier to hold and work into. And then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go right back into my circle and do 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then I'm going to pull on my magic circle real tight to close, and then I'm going to go into my first single crochet, not my chain 1, but the first single crochet. And so that can be hard to find sometimes, so just count from here down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know I need to work into this one right here, and I'm going to put a slip stitch. Okay, so it looks just like that. Then I'm going to chain 3 and right into this same space right here where I just slip stitched. And this can be hard to find sometimes. You can move it around with your fingers, but right there is our little hole where we just did our slip stitch. We're going to go right back into there, and we're going to do a double crochet. Just like that. So technically that counts as 2 double crochets. The chain of 3 does count as a double crochet. Then we're going to go into our next stitch and we're going to put 2 double crochets. And then into our next stitch, 2 double crochets. And then into the next 2 double crochets. And just keep doing that all the way around. And you should end up with 18 double crochets. But we're going to put 1 extra one in our little fake stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And that's because we really need 19 double crochets to make this count the way we need it. Okay, so we've put 2 double crochets in each stitch, and now we're going to add one more, and we're going to put it right here in what people like to call the fake stitch, because right here is the base, right here where our chain of 3 came up, and normally we would not put a stitch there, but we're going to put 1 double crochet just to get our 19. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of our chain of 3. The first chain of 3 that we did, we're going to count up 1, 2, and 3, and into the top of that we're going to put a slip stitch. Now I'm not going to change colors for anything because I'm just going to do one color on one side and one on the back, but you can absolutely do that. You do exactly the same, just pull your color in as you're ending your round. Okay, so now we're going to chain 3 again, and we're going to put a double crochet right where we did our slip stitch. So now we technically have 2. Then we're going to go into our next stitch and put 2 double crochets. And we're going to do this 9 times. So we've got, this counts as 1, this counts as 2. And the next we're going to put 2 double crochets. And the next 2 double crochets. And the next 2 double crochets, into the next 2 double crochets, okay, and let's see how many pairs we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need 2 more to make 9. So 2 in the next, and then 2 in the next one. So now we have 9 sets of 2 double crochets, and then in our next stitch we're going to put 2 treble crochets. So to do a treble, you're going to wrap around your hook twice, go into the next stitch, pull up, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, and then again wrap around twice, go into your stitch, pull up, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. Then you're going to do just like you did on this side, and the next 9 stitches you're going to put 2 double crochets in each. So go right into your next stitch and work 2 double crochets. And right into the next and 2 double crochets. Okay, so we just finished our last 2 double crochets, and now we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain of 3. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to do an invisible, seamless close, okay? So I want to cut off quite a bit because I'm going to use this to sew on to my other side, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this through like this. Then I'm going to bring it over to this side. I'm going to go into the top of my chain of 3. Instead of going into the chain of 3, I'm going to go into my very next double crochet, the very top of it. And I'm going to go through it and pull this through. Just like that. And then I'm going to go to this stitch right here. And I'm going to go into the back loop and I'm going to pull this through. Okay. And that just gives it a seamless look There's no messiness there, and it'll be easy to sew together, okay? So as you can see, we've got our little egg look going on here. And of course, when we put the sides on, it'll look more like this, which will make it look more egg-like. Now, remember, when we did these treble crochets here, that's what gives it its pointier look that you need for the egg look, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do one exactly like this, another one exactly like this, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video and we'll do another one. You can rewind if you need to. Make sure you do the seamless close there. And then I'm going to show you how to stuff it and sew it together. So we've got our two now, and I'm going to take all my yarn here for the side that I'm not going to be using this long piece for. I'm going to put it all in the middle. We can put it all in the middle here. And then we're just going to line these up so that they match as best as we can, okay? And if one yarn was a little smaller than the other, or you crocheted a little bit tighter, it may be that one side is a little bit bigger than the other, but it's okay, it'll all work out. But you might want to try to use the exact same yarn and make sure that your tension is similar, okay? So right here, I'm going to line it up right where we closed off and did that seamless close for that one. And I'm going to put my long piece that I saved onto my darning needle. And I'm going to go right here where that's coming out right there, and it's coming out right here. And we're going to go right into the next one, working in the back loop here, and then working in the back loop here. Okay, just like that. And you're going to keep doing it just like that all the way around. So the back loop here and the back loop there, go through those two. And then again, back loop here, back loop here. And just the back loop on both sides and pull through. Just like this. Trying to get each stitch that you possibly can. Try to make sure that they're lined up. And you're going to do that all the way around, but make sure that you leave a little space for when you go to stuff this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go around doing that same thing all the way around, and you do that too, and we'll meet back up in just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to take our stuffing, and if you're using this polyfill or anything really, you want to pull it apart, and then you're going to start stuffing your egg, and really try to find where you did those trebles. So those two trebles are right here. So I'm just going to keep that in mind as I fill this and I form it with my hand so that we know where that is. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep pulling this out and stuffing this. Okay, so after you stuff all this, then you can finish sewing it together. And so you would just keep doing exactly what you were doing already. You would just keep going around, going into the back and the back loops. And this makes a really pretty side, and it also causes it to create like a little ledge there in between the two places to make it look more 3D and not so flat, even though it's already being stuffed. But because it has two sides and it's not worked in the round, it can get a little bit of a flatness to it. So getting the back loops here will cause it to have that ridge on the side, as you can see. Okay, so after you stuff all this, then you can finish sewing it together. And so you would just keep doing exactly what you were doing already. You would just keep going around, going into the back and the back loops. And this makes a really pretty side, and it also causes it to create like a little ledge there in between the two places to make it look more 3D and not so flat, even though it's already being stuffed. But because it has two sides and it's not worked in the round, it can get a little bit of a flatness to it. So getting the back loops here will cause it to have that ridge on the side, as you can see. And make sure that when you get to the end, you're still working through your back loops. Okay, and then you're just simply going to work this back and forth into your egg here. 3 times is still the rule, even when you're doing amigurumi or stuffing stuff. And then just pull tight and cut off. And then you're going to take your hand and you're going to find where your trebles are, which are right here. And as you can see, everything is kind of lopsided, doesn't really look like an egg. You take your hands and just go like this back and forth where the treble's there at the top. And there you go, you've got an egg. So usually machines make stuffed animals and they do all that stuff for you, but when you're making crochet, a lot of times you need to use your hands and other things to shape it. Okay, so there's your egg. So yeah, like I told you, this is definitely beginner friendly, really easy stuff, lots of fun. And then you can just make a bunch of these and fill a basket with some really cute eggs, okay? So thanks for watching. Happy crocheting. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything, you can leave them below in the YouTube comment section, obviously. But if you don't want to do that, I have a Gmail. You can also find me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Please give me a friendly follow on all those sites. It helps so much. And I'll see you again soon. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.